Well, hello everybody from not so sunny South Australia, where we've had a lot of rain. Probably about 6 inches in the last few days or so. And I know some of you are saying 6 inches of rain in a few days, we get that in a day, we get that in a minute. But for us, in the driest state and the driest continent, that's actually a lot of rain. So creeks have been flooding, crops have been lost, trees have been dropping like flies. The power was out over the entire state for quite a long period of time. So it's all been pandemonium, really. Anyway, enough of the weather forecast. I haven't got a lot to report on the car, but I just thought I would catch up on a few things that I've done. I don't know whether you can see or not, but I fitted some windscreen wipers, which is terribly exciting. Not because I intended to go out and drive in the rain, but we needed them on the car. If you've been following these, you'll know that I've had quite a lot of trouble with the brakes. Well, it looks like I've sorted the brakes now. They seem to work quite well. There's still a bit of pedal travel. I'm not quite sure whether it's supposed to be like that or not. I haven't driven it on the road with these brakes yet, but going up and down the drive, they work very well. I've replaced everything really, and there's not much more I can do to those. I think I'm probably comparing them to the MGA brakes, which are very good. The MGA has front discs, and they work really well. They do fill me with confidence. So I've done that. The other thing I had to do, because I converted this to take the steering off the wrong side of the car and put it on the correct side, where any right-thinking person knows it should be. Here in South Australia, if you do that, you have to get an engineering certificate. They have to come out and check it over before you can register it. So I had an engineer come out this morning, and he had a look. Very impressed with the quality of the restoration, of course, and has signed off on that. So that means probably that within the next couple of weeks I will be able to register it and take it for a bit of a spin. Even though there are still a few bits and pieces to go, it means that after 3.5 years it's finally coming to the end of my playing with it. And it's pretty hard to keep up the impetus, as you will know if you've done these sorts of things. Now, the other thing I bought is this, which is the spare wheel tie down. That came from Kilmartin's here in Ballarat, where as you will know, I buy a lot of my parts. It's very well made, very nice leather strap. So I'm hoping to be able to fit that perhaps a little bit later on. The other thing you can see I've done is fitted a tonneau cover. It's not quite finished yet. I've still got a couple of studs to put in there. But I thought I'd make a short video on the tonneau cover and show you how it fits underneath. Now, I believe these are on the BN4s and the BT7s, and of course they have these support bars across the top. There are 5 of those, and they fit into envelopes inside the tonneau, and they rest on a main bar that runs around the cockpit there. They're fastened at the back with these tax fasteners, which unclip. This is one of them here. They're quite easy to fit. You just unscrew that section there, punch a hole that's probably about 3/8 of an inch in diameter in the tonneau, punch a hole. Yes, it's a very nervous procedure, and you've got to make sure you get it in the right way, of course, the right place. But they're very easy. You push that through, and then you screw this back up, and it locks in place on the tonneau. And all it can really then do is scratch the paintwork, which is what I think it's probably designed to do. This releases by pulling on that. You can see that's spring-loaded, and this is the female one, and it releases the male one, which is fixed to the back of the shroud. So what I'll do is I'll take the tonneau off, because there's a couple of things I'd like to show you on the inside of this as far as the bars go. There are a couple of things that aren't correct, and I can't do much about them. So I've decided I'm just going to have to live with them. So I'll pull this off, and I'll take it inside where it's a little bit warmer, and I'll show you what happens underneath the tonneau. Well, this is the underside of the tonneau, and these stripes across here are envelopes which hold the tonneau support bars, and this section here is a flap which closes over those, and then the main support bar lies underneath there. And as you can see, these are held in place with little turning fasteners, which I fitted in, not hard to do, just punch a hole in there, and the underside has these little clinch pins and a plate there. But there is something here that is not quite right. There you can see the bars, these just slide out. That bit there rests on the aluminium cockpit rail at the back, and this section here rests on the front of the tonneau bar support. But there is something that I think is not quite correct, and there's not much I can do about it, but it would appear to me that this section here is not quite sewn in the right place, because from what I've read, these bars should actually sit there, so that when you fold this over, it gives you a little bit of double strength there for the material, so it doesn't wear through. These, as you can see, come up to the edge here. Now I think with the original ones, they actually go over a little bit, and that gives you a nice little bit of padding there in case these wear through the tonneau. They're fairly smooth, so they should be okay, but that's the way it is, and that's the way it's made, and unfortunately I can't do much about that, apart from putting another row of stitching across that flap, and I don't intend to do that. Anyway, there's a little interesting discussion on the inside of tonneaus. If you haven't seen them before, I know I hadn't. I had to do some research into how to put it together. That's how they fit together. I also have to put a little Turner dot on this flap here, and one in the front as well, and also a stud on the other side, which is probably a project for a later date. But anyway, I hope that's interesting for anybody who's considering fitting one of these.